The events that occurred on the 21st of November are worthy of recording in my humble diary. Never before have I been so in love over the last year, and yet it was a forbidden love, a love that would not sustain itself unless one of us gave the ultimate sacrifice. Here then is how the evening unfolded. 21st of November. After posting the letter yesterday, I had full confidence in it arriving within time for his tomorrow. It is the 19th century after all. I chose the church at Whitby for us to meet, as I felt it would make me resolute in my actions. I could hardly forget what happened to my darling Lilia, and I was certain that under any circumstances would I let it happen to me. I arrived at the church just as the sun was setting over the ocean. This gave me a full half an hour to prepare the church. I remembered everything my father told me of how to deal with this type. I had his crucifix on a chain wrapped around my wrist, so that if he snuck upon me, he would not see it. I also had hidden some wild garlic flowers amongst my bouquet of red roses. However, I must admit, I did not believe that I would need them for a minute. I truly wanted our love to blossom. I lit some of the church candles to cast the gloom that had accumulated inside the church. It was also a good thing that I had brought with me 24 roses, as without their perfume I would have not been able to disguise the unmistakable stench of wild garlic. I scattered the petals of the first dozen along the aisle up to the altar. I left my bouquet at the foot of the great bronze cross, the symbol of our beloved Saviour. Here I prayed for success in my venture, and here I stayed until his arrival.
The last time I entered a church was 123 years ago to the day. A creature such as myself tries to avoid the hallowed grounds as much as possible. However, to welcome me in, I thought Isabel's flowers were a lovely gesture, a symbol that she was prepared to sacrifice her way of life so that we might live together for eternity. It was not until later I discovered the flowers had an ulterior motive.
Although my words were courageous, I was actually quite afraid. I pulled my father's crucifix around my neck so that I would be protected, yet I also drew comfort from it. I then picked up my bouquet as a barrier between us. He did not yet know what lay beneath the seductive velvety petals of the roses, nor did he seem to notice them.
Her demands were simple: kneel before the cross, confess my sins, become a believer, and then become her lover. I am a creature of the night. One does not simply kneel before the cross, one is destroyed by the cross. Its power is immense. I made it clear in no uncertain terms that her demands were possible.
I pulled the garlic flowers from within the bouquet and put them in front of my dress, so that I may be protected wherever I went. Although unladylike, I practically ran from the church by the time his roar reached my ears.
The story is far from over. Isabel will be mine. Isabel van Helsing, daughter of the famous Dr. Van Helsing, will be mine, in this life or the next.